Denver, Nikola Jokic, he messed around and got a monster triple-double. And the Nuggets, they staved off elimination against the shorthanded Timberwolves. Here's how it happened. Remember, no Anthony Edwards, no Dante DiVincenzo in this one.
How can we forget?
Today was a good day.
Yeah, Jokic, nice little fake out to Brown, jams it home.
And a spin move.
And a spin move. Woo. Final seconds of the second quarter here.
Angry about that.
Jokic.
Oh, yeah, this shot, the rim.
He said we was talking too much. We was talking too much about Rudy Gobert. He didn't like that.
Yeah.
You see how it went through the net?
He didn't like it.
Did it make that noise?
It did in my head.
To the third quarter we go. Midway through. Watch Jokic again here. Jokic looks under the basket to where he wants Jamal Murray to cut. And then, of course, it's telepathy here, Shanae.
So clean, their connection, elite. Nice pass, of course.
And this was on display all night long. Under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Jokic, a little bounce pass here. Christian Brown.
Drop spin on the pass.
Nuggets had 35 assists. It's their most in a playoff game since 1985.
That spin was crazy. It went to the side.
Right. And then Spencer Jones pokes the ball away. Jamal Murray.
Get up.
Coast to coast.
Get up.
High altitude play there.
That was too funny.
With time expiring here.
I'm just like, come on now.
I love that because he softened it up. I think that there was a lot of tension. The refs were probably worried. He softened it up for the NBA, let them know, we still having fun.
Denver gets the win, 125-113. Whose definition of fun?
I was like, excuse me.
Sure, Nikola's. And Nikola was having fun. He was able to pick up his play finally against Rudy Gobert after really struggling in the first four meetings. Jokic got his 20th career playoff triple-double and made half of his attempts against Gobert in Game 5 after converting on just 33% in those previous games. So Denver was rolling. They were rolling on both ends of the floor. We mentioned the 35 assists. They also had 16 steals in this game. That's their most in a playoff game in franchise history. So does it feel, Brian, like all of a sudden, yes, the Timberwolves are still up in this series, but the Denver's in the driver's seat?
They are now favored in this series, and they're favored by 6.5 points.
In this series.
Yeah, by a little bit. And they're favored by 6.5 points in a road elimination game. I can't say I've ever remembered that. So here's what I think. Look, I think this game, coming up in Game 6, this is the Wolves Super Bowl. Because I don't know who's going to come back. I don't know what they might have in the next round. I know that they hate the Nuggets. And I know that they may not have all their soldiers in the next round, but they want to kill off the Denver season.
Yep.
And look, and it was ugly. And obviously the Nuggets offense was way back, and there's a lot of different reasons for that, the turnovers. But I do think the second half that Minnesota played, they basically played them, even in the second half. Randall had a big game, and they can look at maybe eliminating some of those turnovers. I think they believe that they could pull out Game 6.
That was my biggest takeaway, that Julius Randle is alive. Like, he's doing well. I saw, yes, Denver felt like they were throwing heavier punches, and I get that. Basketball is a game of runs. We figured without their starting backcourt, Minnesota would struggle in that department. Totally understand that. But like you were saying, once they finally got it rolling, I felt like the passion was there from Julius Randle. Like, you need that from your next guy that's supposed to step up. I don't think anybody else is supposed to come out of character for that team, but I do think Julius Randle can morph into what they need him to morph into so that they can close out in Game 6.
Scouting reports, though, without Anthony Edwards and without Dante DiVincenzo, they adjust. You know what it's like. You can be a spark plug off the bench like Adesumo has been. Mm-hmm. He still was good. When you talk about that second half, he was good. He found the bottom of the bucket a number of times. But still, it's going to be an uphill battle, even if they're at home. And to me, for the Nuggets, there's no excuse. You have two of the top players in basketball. You have two all-stars. You have Jokic coming off of his best game. And he was in full control. Now, it was not his perfect game offensively, but again, like we talk about the hockey assists early with SGA, the hockey assist from Jokic. When he chooses to pass and his teammates, like the difference is he has a transformative power where based off of his passing, he can take a role player like Cam Johnson, he can take a role player like Spencer Jones and make them have all-star level production.
Right.
That's the power of his passing.
He's missing out on Aaron Gordon, too, because we haven't talked about that enough, but Aaron Gordon is a huge piece to this team. He's done a whole lot of things.
Right, and that's a factor, and he's probably not going to be able to play Game 6.
Without a doubt.
This is so unusual that a team that is up 3-1 is going to operate in a world without any expectation. So that can be a dangerous team. because if Denver gets behind in that game, in that environment, it can snowball on them a little bit.
But at the same time, you have to imagine that this game, going back to Minnesota, where they have home court, there is some, maybe not pressure, but at least awareness and acknowledgement. They don't want this thing to go back to Denver.
If it go back to Denver, it's over.
So now the series, it shifts back to Minnesota, and we will see how the Rookie of the Year, he narrowly defeated his Duke teammate, former roommate, actually, Kon Knipple. Chene, you predicted a tie. It was pretty close.
It was pretty close. I thought we would get there, but I think
the award.
Overall production, Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, he edged out Kon. You
were.
can see the numbers, how they split right there. Just 26 points separated it. That makes this the closest race for the Rookie of the Year since 2023. Now, Flagg, he was the third Mav to win the award. Luka Doncic, and then also his head coach, Jason Kidd, won. So we thought to celebrate here on NBA Today, we would run back some of his best moments. It's a little top at the top. It's brought to you by Orkin. So we're going to start with moments in transition here, Shump. We got the steal,
Your athlete.
the behind the back,
Push, foot on the gas.
and the Euro.
That's a career right there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's all calves,
See how he
hamstrings,
snatched that?
fresh knees. Look at that.
Right?
So you're saying that's only something a rookie could do. All right, against
wow.
New Orleans, up ahead, and he switches
I'm an athlete.
hands. Switches hands for the
I'm an
finish.
Did
athlete.
y'all see that prank video? It was pretty funny.
Anthony Davis' show actually really cracks me up. All right, and then here, you speaking of athletes, this is a tomahawk.
Yeah,
and the
punch it in
foul?
there.
Yeah, he didn't read his scout
Hey.
report.
He's a rookie. There's not one. It's just being built.
How about top rejections here? We got the chase down. And Denny Avdia, he'll draw a foul on you, not this time.
Bye-bye.
He said he ain't eating at Denny's today. I don't want to eat
What's
at
with
Denny's.
that soft layup? Come on, guys.
Another vicious chase down on Baylor Fireman here.
I didn't know so. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
such
that's
a
like
glass
volleyball
cleaner.
squat.
Windex.
Well, and you know when you do it on Kawhi Leonard, then
Ooh.
you've really done something.
Come on up. We spitting on bugs.
Man,
Finally, top posters. Just right down the lane here and hammering over
wait.
Brooke Lopez.
what we doing? Stay away,
Look,
bro.
Brooke just keeps it moving. I'm all, okay.
It's
I'm all-
hilarious. Get to the next play, bro.
This game was awesome, too. The Moose not loose on that play.
That's what you do, man. People jam you up with pressure. That's how you break pressure.
Lastly, we're talking a lot about Denver these days through the defense.
Look at
in
that
the
wipe on.
face
Look at that
of
wipe.
Spencer Jones there.
That wipe. Get off me. Stop touching me, yo. Hey!
Cooper Flagg, I think we can all agree, a
Yeah,
historic season, right, Shump? He became just the second player to lead his team in total points, boards, dimes, and steals as a rookie, and he's in pretty good company. The other is Michael Jordan, so incredible company to keep there. So Cooper was the clear choice at number one for the 2025 draft, but let's turn the page now to the 2026 draft as we say hello to our draft expert, Jeremy Wu. So Jeremy, we're not going to officially know how the ping pong balls fall until May the 10th, but when you are looking at who is that top spot, who do you think is going number one in your mock draft?
Well, Malika, right now, all signs are pointing to A.J. Debonsa sort of separating himself a little bit as the favorite going into lottery night. Now, this is something he earned over the course of the year. You know, teams have told me the way he developed just in season from, November all the way to the Big 12 tournament. Just night and day, just how much better he got as a decision maker, looking like the type of guy you can really anchor your offense to.
Yeah.
Excellent athlete, has always been in the mix, but really sort of took a step in season. I think that helped him a ton.
And does that step that he took in season, does that make him, do you think, the consensus number one pick in this draft, or is there still some debate at the top?
I still think it's a debate. I mean, this is something that, all season I've talked about with people around the NBA, and it's a fun conversation because it is such a good draft, right? It points to how much talent there is. There's still people who love Darren Peterson and still people who love Cam Boozer, and Caleb Wilson has made, a push in that top four, and, Darius Acuff had a huge finish of the season. So, all these guys, people love these guys, but I think AJ is right now sort of the safest pick, I think is what people think. He's the easiest choice with the way things are shaped up.
The safest pick, the easiest choice. That's very interesting. But you mentioned Darren Peterson. What at this point are our teams saying about Peterson?
Well, the main thing to know with Darren, in season there was a lot of talk about, does he love basketball? I don't think that's the issue. I think teams, they're doing this extra digging, figuring out what happened this season at Kansas. I don't think anyone questions that he's a worker, that he loves basketball. The talent is pretty hard to argue with when he's got it going. The real question for Peterson is just going to be what comes out of the combine. What do NBA teams learn from his medicals? How does he handle these interviews? They're going to want to know what happened this season, and how he handles this piece of the process will be big because he's the type of talent where you get him in a workout. Say you win the lottery and you bring him in and he shoots the lights out, and maybe you're like, oh man, maybe this is a harder call than we thought. So
right.
Again, it's a really, really big month for him coming up, but still in that mix for number one.
And there is just such a depth to this draft class that is coming up here in June. Hey, something that people around the league are paying attention to here, right? The Thunder hold the Clippers pick, right? And that pick, it could jump all the way up to a top 4 pick, which is terrifying for the rest of the league, but they have an 86% chance to be at 12. So what kind of talent could the Thunder be looking to add if that's where they land?
Well, it's going to be interesting what happens with OKC. They have number 12. They have number 17. They might only have one roster spot open. So they'll try to consolidate, maybe try to move up. But does anyone want to be the team that trades back to help the Thunder? I don't know the answer to that, right? Look at number 12. I mean, I like both Michigan guys here. Yaxel Lindeborg is one who I have in my mock. A guy who's ready to play in the NBA right now, can give them rotation depth, can play multiple positions, can handle the ball, can knock down shots, prove that down the stretch, and led Michigan to the title. A guy who I think will be potentially on the board for them in that range. Another guy I like as a fit is Adai Mara, his 7'2" teammate at Michigan. Just thinking about building this Thunder team out moving forward, you have to go through Wemby for a decade, maybe, right? So who better? You get the biggest, most skilled guy in the draft. You pair him with Chet, and you have these supersized, super skilled lineups. Maybe that's a look that they think about. So it's another candidate for number 12 I'm curious about.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're looking to find another Wemby stopper, but someone to slow down and help slow down Victor Wembanyama. Jeremy Wu, thank you very much for your time. We're going to see you coming up at the Combine in just 2 weeks. And the teams that have the